What's up everybody, Evil here. Today, it's raining, it's crappy outside. I should be out working, doing some mowing or something to that effect, but it's really crappy outside, so spending some time inside, I figured why not make a video. So, I haven't been doing much RC lately, but a couple weeks ago, for some reason, the bug just grabbed me, and I had all this vintage stuff sitting around, most of it non-running. And I decided, you know what, I'm gonna get a bunch of this stuff running. So subscribers of my channel will know that I've been working on some Kyosho buggies. I started with the Javelin, built that up and did a running video. Following that, I did an Optima. This one's been on my shelf for like 2 years. So I decided to finish it up. It's really loud, I should probably turn that down. Anyway, I decided to finish that up, and actually this one I haven't even driven yet, but these are both largely the same cars. This one's got the cool Kyosho Le Mans brushless setup in it, which is a little bit pricey to do twice, so this one I just went for the Kyosho. It's like a $40 setup for ESC and 20-turn motor. That followed the Frog. I had built this a while back and drove it once and then robbed the electronics in it for some other project. So I went ahead and bought a new servo for it and got it going. All around this time, I kind of revitalized the track in my backyard, which is just perfect for driving vintage RC cars. So I've been on an absolute tear with that. Got the 2 Kyosho buggies built, got the Frog running. The only thing really I had left was this RC10 re-release classic, and I've decided to do one of these Reedy Radon. I think these are a 20-turn motor in these cars, but they look exactly like the old vintage motors. I mean, nothing has changed. There's just really nothing wrong with this as far as a brushed motor. And these are available. You can buy these today. They're not rare or anything. And I got another body. I got this body here I'm going to start painting up today, and we'll go over that too. But as far as the RC10 re-release, it is completely just untouched. It's built and has never had electronics in it. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to install electronics in this. Just for beating around the track, I picked up one of these. I don't even know what brand this is, but this is the same exact ESC that Orion sells. All right, for servo, I'm going to be doing this Vitaba 3004. It's a standard servo, but ball bearing for longevity. The steering linkage that comes with the RC10 is pretty reminiscent of the vintage stuff. I really didn't understand how this was going to work, so I had to reference my old vintage RC10, and I'm pretty sure these are all hand bent. I had a guy at my local track help me complete this when I was a kid. He just passed away recently, which was quite sad, but I always kind of have this memory of him because he helped me do the final leg on the assembly of this car. But you can see how the steering linkage is done there, so we're going to try and recreate this on the re-release car. All right, so got all the electronics installed. Just got some glue drying for my on-off switch there. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna wait for my switch to dry here. I'm gonna put my gear cover on, and then I'm gonna move over to working on getting this body painted. What's up, gang? I'm finally gonna do a running video on the RC10 re-release. I actually took this out and drove it once, and I didn't film it. And I didn't make it one lap around the track before the shock blew out and got oil and dirt all over this corner of the car. It was really a huge mess. I was very upset. I had a defective, these associated shocks have a little clip in there that holds the O-rings and whatnot where it's supposed to be. And that clip, I remember when assembling it, it didn't click in there very well. And sure enough, it came out while driving it. Luckily, I had shock rebuild kit laying around from RC10 B3 or B4, and fit perfectly on the new shocks. So got it rebuilt, filled her back up, back in business. So now we can get a battery in here and get this thing out and shoot a running video of it. All right. Let's go get this dirty again. I'm a little bit disappointed that they quit making this already. I thought the whole idea with putting this back out was that so us collectors would have a source for parts and basically a version we could drive without trashing our vintage stuff. But they've already stopped making it, and the re-release parts are up there in the same cost around what the vintage stuff is. Probably not really, but they're still quite expensive. It's kind of irritating. This is Rosie. Come here, Rosie. Actually, it's Rosalie, but we call her Rosie. All right. So this should be interesting. Oh yeah. After driving a Frog the last few days, this feels like a freaking Lambo next to that. It is nice and plush suspension. A lot less understeer. Still got some understeer, but I'll tell you what, I like the feel of that. It's not super fast. The car's got some heft to it. You can feel it's got some weight to it. A little yard farm in there with it. Oh, they'll actually get some air on that jump. Tell you what, it is not awful at all. It's fairly neutral. It's got a little bit of understeer in this loose stuff, but fun to drive. Whoa, into the grass. Little Reedy Radon's got plenty of power to get it out. Oh, really? Where'd the stick come from? Get out of here, annoying stick. I need to clean the track off. There's a bunch of crap. It's like the dog's been dragging sticks onto it or something. I just can't even imagine when this car came out what it was like. All the guys at the track are running that old stuff, and then this thing shows up and just changes the game. I love the heritage of this car. I have my own history with this car, but I love how the guys designed it. There's a little bit of tuning to get the understeer out of it, but it's good. It feels nice. Oh! All right, well, that concludes my running video of the RC10 Classic. So my impressions of this car are really good. It's very fun to drive. Has a lot of heft to it when you're driving it. You can feel the weight of the car when it goes around corners, which helps with traction, but you know, maybe makes it not as quick because you're hauling a lot more weight through the corners. It's almost like 8th scale feel, like not as powerful obviously and no 4-wheel drive, but it's got that kind of heft to it. I haven't weighed it to see what it weighs, but it's got that feel to it when you go through corners. Comparing it to you know, back to back after having driven the Frog the last few days, the thing is super, just, it feels so smooth. It just doesn't bounce around. It's very composed and pretty drama free going around that track. So definitely a more refined kit than some of these to me as I've been driving around here, but at much more of a price tag obviously too. Comparing it to more modern buggies, I haven't driven anything past the B4. Those feel very light and they're very stiff and rigid, and they just, I don't know how to explain it, they just feel more plasticky. This, you don't feel like you're going to break it if you do a tumble with it, where some of the newer buggies, you know, just cartwheeling in the straightaway would break a C-hub or, you know, who knows what else. I broke wing mounts all the time on my B4. So just strange things like that. That really irritated me because having driven these when I was a kid, I mean, just absolutely tough as nails, these things, where I had some monumental wrecks at races that sent the thing over the boards and, you know, careening out into the pits and whatnot. And just, I never broke an A-arm. I never really busted anything on the car. So I just, you know, I kind of missed that era of how tough the cars were. So anyway, that is it. I just wanted to put it together, throw some electronics in it, get out there and drive it, and just get another feel for it, see what it was like, and compare it, you know, several years in, having driven quite a few different cars now. Do I regret driving it as opposed to having it be completely spotless and perfect and decent resale value? I do not. I bought this to drive. My vintage car is the one that's going to sit up there and get looked at, just because I don't want to worsen its condition anymore. And I bought this one to beat up and drive. I don't know that that will happen, that I'll drive it enough to do that, but you know, if there's some vintage races or something, I might take it and drive it. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, that's it. I will quit boring you guys with this. I appreciate you guys watching. Please subscribe if you have not, and I'll catch you on the next one.